So this is a super quick overview of using Google Forms, but also for using them to add like a video or a cartoon image to sort of enhance the kind of questions you can ask kids in your class. So the trick is that within your Google Drive, if you click on the Create button, on the side, you've got these other options, and you can make a form. So clicking here. And you can just click on one of these sort of NAF themes, click here. And so this is the layout down the bottom here for making questions and adding for different types of feedback you want to get. Before you get too carried away, it's kind of good at the top is to select this button, and it gets the students' email addresses, which is very useful later on when you redo this. So you can just add the form here. You can go thinking about cabinet spending. The one trick that's really nice is if you click on this little arrow here, you can add items here. You can add text, paragraphs, choose questions from lists. But these are some nice advanced options on the side and layout options. And one of them is adding an image. I'll just showcase this. You can just choose from your desktop, grabbing your desktop, and something like this, which is nice sort of cool. Add it to the middle of my page, press done. So this is a nice, a nice resource that I want to get kids to think about and dig a bit deeper, maybe into some of the misconceptions and some of the connections and the concepts. What are these little owls doing down the bottom? And so based on this, I can then start adding some subsequent questions. So here I can add an item. Oopsie, arrow, say multiple choice. Question 1, question 2, question 3. Question at the top. Press done. And then that can be one way of doing it. Alternatively, if you click on the arrow here, you can also add a video to a form, which fits really nicely with this idea of sort of reverse instruction or that flipped classroom where you want kids to recap on something perhaps that you covered in class. So you can just search directly here and this will take you through YouTube's. It has to be a YouTube video to embed in a Google form, part of the Google empire. Click on select, press the middle of the button, press done. And same idea, so I've got a sort of a gadget here with my video. Then I need to go through and ask questions after that. One of the other tricks for these types of activities is to make sure it's a required question, then kids have to fill it in as part of the homework, as part of the activity, which is something useful to keep an eye on. Finally, sending these things to the students is that if you press the send form button, it gives you a link. So either I can type in the kids' email addresses or your class group here, or I can put this link somewhere where the kids can access it. If I wanted to make a form with a fellow teacher, adding collaborators here allows you to work together on a form, that's a new feature. Once it's all going, you get these other options at the top where you can view responses in a couple of different ways. So I'll just highlight something I prepared earlier. Sitting in here, I think. Here we go. So this is a nice form that I used for a piece of homework this week. Just wanted kids to recap on a concept. I had covered part of it in class, and this is just the extension. A couple of questions, some open answered things. If I go view responses up here, do two ways. Up here, if I go summary responses, I get these pretty graphs that shows, which is quite interesting. Here I can see, one of the students got a bit of a different answer to the others, and a few more differences at the top. Or I can go view responses here with this button, and it's actually to the spreadsheet with the responses, which is slightly different. And off the side, I can see when the kids did it, and I can see students' names and their answers there, which is kind of nice. So I think it's a really good way of, in my opinion, it's a really good way of getting students to engage around like a video tutorial and eliciting a wee bit of feedback. Also for images, things like human history or geography, or English, getting kids to interpret things like graphic novels, and digging a bit deeper into understanding. It's just a nice way to mix up the homework.